So today we're actually going to go ahead and look for some clothing brands and find a few clothing brands that aren't currently running ads. That's exactly what you're seeing on screen right now is my Instagram, and we're going to go ahead and have some research done and find out a few things, and let's see if we can find some clothing brands that need changing. And I'm going to go through the process of explaining exactly what's wrong with their brand and what they should fix. Clothing brand, there we go. That's the hashtag that I'm currently going to be using to find all these clothing brands that need to scale. Let's first of all open a few pages up. Anything that seems to look good, you want to make sure that the product sticks out. It's something that's sellable, something that could generate a lot of profit. We're not going to focus too much on the location. We have to keep in mind that we can scale brands from across the world. We can set ads to be exactly by location, so there's nothing to worry about. Okay, so let's say that seems to be good. I'll open a few other ones. I think we have a good few selections here. Let's hope that the ones we've picked currently don't run any ads. Okay, yeah, okay, we should be fine. Okay, right, let's check this one. Drop a follow, of course. Here we go, Metapixel Helper. Okay, let's open the website and let's also check if this is running anything. No, okay, perfect. All right, so as you can see, yes, this will be easy to work with, of course, because you have all the photo shoots. Let's go ahead and look at their page. As you can see, we have a lot of model shots that they've taken, photo shoots of models wearing their clothing. There's another one. Okay, so they post mostly organic content. Let's check their reels. Again, just the photo shoots themselves. Okay, a little bit of editing there and then. Okay, amazing, looks promising. Okay, we've got a few stories posted and their TikTok is linked as well. Okay, now on their website, we've got some options for sure. Let's go with some ads for this one, correct? Okay, we're gonna take a few pictures actually, and I'd like to see that they're pretty high quality. What I am seeing though is that I'm gonna have to use a little bit of a trick here. Grab this image, save this to my computer. Gonna go back real quick. Good picture to save. I want this one. Amazing. Got the pictures. Now they're ready to start scaling this brand and find out exactly the best ways to promote their ads. So open up Photoshop. Okay, so just set up the document here. The resolution I'm going with is the generic Instagram post I mentioned. So we go. I'm going with 1080 by 1350, which is a generic Instagram post type. Let's open up the files real quick. Here they are. And now let's start creating the post. So what we want to do is we're showcasing their clothing here. So we kind of want that to stick out compared to the rest of the image. The backing on these are not fully white, so we kind of want to fix that, and we can do that by using the magic wand, selecting the subject. Let's check if Photoshop can do a good job. Yes, it did. So we're just going to cut him out. We're going to take this picture, add him on a white backing, delete the other one, do the same with this one. Just select subject. Yes, it does as I expected it to. Even I can barely see where the lines are, but we've got it down pretty much. Yeah, and the rest Photoshop can do itself. So go ahead and delete. So we're just going to cut that out, and we've got our second render. Amazing. Okay, so we actually kind of wanted to have two main renders within the same image. We're going to focus on having him here and then the other guy sort of showcasing it here, just like that. Another thing I think you can see is the cutoff here. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to generate to fill that real quick using AI. That's it. Yes, correct. There we go. We got a bit of one right there. Now that that's sorted, we can just continue editing, adjusting, finding the nice positioning for him. Okay, amazing. So now I kind of want to have like sort of a glow coming off this one guy on the left side, just to, you know, create that little, yes, there we go, that smoothness. Amazing. And for the actual type itself, you can see that we have that sort of theme that we wanted to stick to. So if we do want to add text, let's say for example they requested some text, or, you know, I think text would look good depending on what type of design we're trying to bring out here. I think even this alone as a graphic, if I added a little bit of texturing, that would be fine. But let's just add a little bit of text, something very simple. We might even want to, let me just find a font. Of course, remember, design is trial and error. So you will have moments where it'll be like, damn, this could look cool. And then you end up not going ahead with it. So let's just give it a test. We're going to go for sort of the same theme as we have on the actual clothing itself. Shop now, and then just say something like new drop released. Okay, nice. And let's just keep it nice and simple. We're going to have this at the bottom, something that doesn't necessarily stick out too much. Of course, we're going to want to increase it just a little bit because you have to remember it's going to be the small button down here. Amazing. And now let's go back to their website. So now what I want to do is sort of inspect this, take their logo. I usually don't go ahead and just use inspect all the time. It's just that I'm not actually working with this clothing brand, so I have to do what it takes. That is too low quality. Let's see if the website has a nicer one. Okay, here we go. Wait, that should be bigger. light. That's better. Nice. Okay, like that. Actually, we want to make sure we keep the inside, so we're going to be continuous. There we go. Yeah, this is not the best example in terms of, you know, the quality of the logo, but again, we can't do much. As I said, we're not working with this clothing brand, so we're just going to stick with what we've got. There we go. Okay, nice. So we've got that set up. Very nice. Kind of want to remove those edges, so we want to apply the mask. Then we go to matting and then remove black matte, and then go back again, matting, defringe by 1 pixel. Boom. That was way clean. Okay, we've got a nice little logo. We're just going to invert that because we want sort of the nice edges to show, have that little contrast there, and just to get it looking even nicer, we could add a small shading line to it just to make it stand out. And just like that, a really nice ad. Now all I have to add is just a little bit of color correction and some textures. I've actually got some textures saved. So we're going to go ahead and go to patterns. We're going to click on this one right here, change this to soft light, change the scale to about 50, make it look nice and grainy, reduce that amount. We just want to make sure that sticks out nicely. I feel like that drop shadow is a little bit too much, so we're just going to reduce that, make sure it stands up and nothing too crazy. And just for some more effect, we're going to add one more texture on top, change the scale to 50 as well, get like a really nice grungy sort of texture, reduce up that a lot, sort of to balance out the highlights in the whole design. Nice. It looks a little more textured. It matches the theme, the style that we're going for here. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that. And then lastly, we want to take the color up like the blues, give this a little shine, just like that. Give it that aesthetic kind of look. So we're going for with these two lights. Nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, lastly, I'm not too happy about that logo. I kind of want to make it smaller, even smaller, or we remove it and tag this one. There we go. Try moving it down here. Nope. Maybe down here. No, I think that position was fine. We'll stick to having it up there. So as you can see, we've got this nice looking ad. I want to see if maybe adding a stroke to him would be nice, but like a white stroke, yes, like that, just so he sticks out from just these edges here. I kind of want to separate it nicely, make it stick out, make it look like as if it's shining on the side. That makes it look, again, more clean. And yeah, there we go. We've got a pretty nice advert going on here. It's clean, it's simple, it presents everything. Putting this as an ad is good. It's a good creative, it stands out. It showcases the clothing, which is the most important bit when advertisements. You don't want too much text, you don't want to overload. You kind of want the clothing to stand out and play its part. This would be something that I just export, save this for web. We've designed a fully custom ad graphic that this is exactly what would be included within the package when you work with me as a brand scaler. Go ahead and do these for you. Go ahead and post them, have them as the actual creatives. When people go and open a shop, they'll be presented with our own graphics that we create. Go ahead and post these for you, and we run the ads alongside all the creatives. If you're interested in getting what others don't offer, which is the creatives and the actual advertisements behind the scenes. If you do sound interested and you want to work with me and you want to have creatives like these and get to work with not only having a brand scaler that can help you create the actual advertisements and campaigns, but alongside that, actually create the creatives, clothing brand, any e-commerce brand, etc. Just DM me, or if you're watching this on YouTube, click in the bio, open my Instagram, or just open the website and go ahead and book a meeting through the contact me page, and you'll be able to get in contact. And yeah, we can start the journey of increasing your sales. It's a very missed out opportunity at the moment with all these brands that haven't been doing this. So, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video and learned something new about how you should run your ads and what type of creatives you should be using when running your e-commerce brand. See you.